that has never been in contact with any particular law enforcement court system. And from what I can see and what I hear out here from a lot of my Black male, and I'm sure it's common knowledge, is that because they are unfamiliar with the court system, they don't know, number one.
Traveler. Okay.
Well, all right, guys. Today we've got a sovereign citizen in court who, surprise, surprise, actually asked for an attorney this time. Progress? Maybe. But don't be fooled. He's still fully immersed in that sovereign citizen mindset. This guy was pulled over driving without a license, had a license plate that literally just said traveler, and of course, resisted arrest. Because what's a sovereign citizen encounter without some unnecessary drama, right? Now, here's where it gets interesting. Let's talk about his attorney. There's definitely something off about their dynamic in court. It's touchy, to say the least. Kinda weird, honestly. I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Is it just me, or is something strange going on between them? All right, let's dive into this one. It's definitely an entertaining ride. Let me know what you think in the comments.
She and I have already discussed it on this case, and we just both want you to hear the PC, if we can, Judge.
Okay.
And then on the bond reinstatement as well, Judge. Right.
So officers initiated a traffic stop in Harris County, Texas for a vehicle having a fictitious plate bearing the word traveler on it. During the stop, the defendant refused to provide...
Traveler. Okay.
During the stop, the defendant refused to provide ID or insurance information, stating, "I do not consent to this." Officer attempted to remove the defendant from the vehicle, and defendant actively resisted by pulling his arm away from deputies until he was detained.
Okay. Tell me what.
So we looked at, Madam Prosecutor, the interference with duties of public servant, Your Honor. Even if my client is failing to give them that, then it is an arrestable offense. But in this situation, it is, Judge. However, in this particular situation, he didn't interfere with anything in terms of his own arrest. I can, if it was a resisting or something to that effect, I can.
They're just trying to get him out of the car.
I don't disagree.
It's classic sovereign case where got the license plate, think that traveling by right is what I think how they term it.
In this situation, Judge, and the reason I'm employing upon the court is, even from what Madam Prosecutor has seen on the video, they're pulling and tugging at his arm, which put my client in some fear. It was more than one officer. It was pretty.
But he still has a duty. If they're asking you to come out, they can lawfully do that. And there are videos, and go on YouTube, right? There are hundreds of videos where officers will literally destroy your car to get you out. When you get into a pissing match with a person who has the power of arrest, who's going to win, Mr. Daly?
We don't disagree, Your Honor.
Right. You know what I mean? That's real life.
We don't disagree, Your Honor. I think under the circumstances of what actually happened, it was not Mr. Daly's position to resist or to interfere. That was not. He was concerned for his safety at that point. And actually, I don't know, did you hear that on the video? Right. And so in reviewing the video, it was pretty quick, pretty brash. They didn't give him an opportunity to respond per the prosecutor. In this situation, it wasn't as if he was intentionally.
Remember, this is just a mere probable cause.
Yes,
so
I agree.
They ask you to come out of the car one time. Yeah, it's really that's. So, I think that there's enough probable cause to go forward now. The problem is, Mr. Daly, is that we revoke your bond. Your bond is set at 2501, and you've continually failed to appear. So, the case and the way that you've treated us, it shows me that you just refuse to accept authority. How are we supposed to deal with that? How do we deal with that, Timberland?
Your Honor, the only reason I bring to your attention is I asked the court to take into consideration, we have a Black male works every day who, and I hate to put that on the court, but I do in this particular climate, that has never been in contact with any particular law enforcement court system. And from what I can see and what I hear out here from a lot of my Black male, and I'm sure it's common knowledge, is that because they are unfamiliar with the court system, they don't know, number one. Number two, when they do come in contact with police, and my mother is assistant chief of police, so I can understand, even when I was younger, I was taught that there are certain things that you have to do with when a police officer even stop you on a speeding ticket. What we don't know is whenever these officers come up, when you're somebody who don't have the privilege of having a police officer as a parent, or who isn't familiar and is being raised in this particular climate and seeing what they see on TV and seeing what they hear and everything that has occurred, you don't know what the proper steps are. I was trained from when I was grown up what you do. I'm not saying that what he did was right or wrong. I'm not saying that how he reacted to this particular court, it is wrong. However, I'm employing upon the court to ask the court to take into a little bit of consideration, number one, from his perspective.
Are you serious right now? My own attorney is out here pulling the race card. For me. Like that's the angle we're going with? And believe it or not, that's not even the craziest thing she's doing. On top of that, she's practically smothering me in court like, it's her full-time job. It's wild. I mean, is this woman my lawyer or my mom? Because the way she's hovering over me, coaching me, coddling me, it's one of the weirdest courtroom dynamics I've ever seen. And now she's trying to argue that the police didn't have probable cause? Come on. They told me to get out of the car. And apparently, that's all they need these days. Newsflash, if the cops say step out, you step out, especially when you've got a license plate that says traveler instead of a legal registration. I get it. I live by my own rules. I don't follow the system. But that doesn't exactly scream law-abiding citizen. But now this whole case is being spun into something it's not. I didn't show up to court. Yeah, because I don't recognize the court's authority. That's the point. But now my lawyer's acting like I'm the victim here, playing the race angle and pretending the whole situation is some big misunderstanding. Even Judge Fair isn't buying it. And that guy's not known for handing out breaks. So tell me, how is this going to work out? I've got a lawyer who treats me like a lost child, a courtroom that doesn't take me seriously, and a system I don't even acknowledge. Let me know what you think about this whole mess, especially my attorney. Seriously, does anyone else think she's acting more like a mom than a lawyer? Let's dive back in.
All defendants, can't just say this, but I do see that, from what I've known from this particular case and now in talking to him, I do believe that there is a sense of sometimes they just don't know. Sometimes they just don't. So I'm asking to reinstate his PR bond. I am now on the case. What you know about me, I'm a tight attorney. I run a tight ship. So, and by which of way I believe I can reach him and getting him to court and resolving this matter, which is what I talked to the prosecutor about when you were on break. It's like, let's just resolve this. Let's take care of this.
I'll buy it.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, Judge.
I'm not going to do this again, though. I promise you. I don't care whoever you have. If you flake on us again, that's 3 times. It's out. I'm not going to do it again. Do you understand, Mr. Daly? I mean, when you come to court, good things happen. When you don't show up and you continually do it, you can't expect good things to happen. Now, do you have a Texas driver's license?
No, right now.
You're not allowed to drive.
Right.
You have a bond condition and you've signed an affidavit with me today promising you're not going to drive. I don't care how you term it. Driving, traveling, however you're going to word it, whatever you do not get into the driver's seat of an automobile, a motorcycle, anything with a combustible engine where you can get on the road unless you have approval from us. Do you understand? I don't care that you have to work. I don't care if you have to go to church. I don't care if you're going to a funeral. I don't care if you're going to wherever it may be. Do not drive. Do you understand? Heed this warning. You're not going to get another one. Okay, Timberlake, I'll reinstate the bond.
Thank you, Your Honor. And I'll talk to her. We were going to try to talk to Chief, but it's pretty busy
I mean, I
today.
think the case is only 3 months old,
Yes,
so you've got time. You can do whatever you want.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Judge.
Because you have a lawyer, I will waive your appearance. You don't have to waste your time coming to court now, but you must stay in touch with her and she'll tell you when you got to come back to court. If she comes back and tells me she can't get a hold of you because you're playing games or you've gone AWOL or whatnot, or you get arrested for something else, all bets off. We good? I'm not asking for much, man. You know, really. And for future reference, when you get into a pissing match with someone with the power of arrest, you are nearly always going to lose. It's just the way it works. And as a young Black man in today's society, you got to be extra special careful because things can go really wrong really quick. And there's evidence of that over and over and over.
Wow. This might be a hot take, but honestly, I'm pretty disappointed that Judge Fleer didn't throw the book at this guy. And look, I'm not saying every sovereign citizen needs to get the full law and order treatment, but come on. This dude skipped court, resisted arrest like his life depended on it, and was driving around with a license plate that looked like it was made in Microsoft Paint. In most situations, failing to appear in court can land you with additional charges, or even a warrant under contempt laws. And resisting? That's a whole separate charge that stacks onto everything else. This case seemed like the perfect opportunity to actually hand down a serious consequence. But instead, in my opinion, he basically got a slap on the wrist, and I still can't get over how that attorney smothered him. Seriously. I don't know if she's new, if she's related to him or what, but that courtroom dynamic was weird. One of the strangest things I've ever seen. I've never seen that attorney before, and honestly, I found it pretty unprofessional. I mean, is that just how things go down in Texas? If anyone from Texas is watching, let me know, because that whole interaction felt off to me. The whole thing was entertaining, though. I'll give it that. The guy barely spoke for himself. The attorney basically argued everything on his behalf. She even pulled the race card, which I just don't think applied here at all. And look, I'm not racist, not even close, but using that angle in this case, where the guy literally had a fake license plate that said traveler, that just doesn't make sense. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up here because honestly, this case is making me lose brain cells. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe for more content like this, and definitely drop a comment with your thoughts, especially about the attorney. That's the main point I want to get across here. That courtroom dynamic was one of the weirdest things I've ever seen. Thanks for watching, and take care, everybody.